Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to explore how to create an interactive map with just a few lines of code. And I've already opened Jupyter Notebook, and the library that we're going to use for this purpose is called Folium. So to use Folium we first need to install it, so we can run this command, but I've already done this. And now it will say that the requirement is already satisfied, so then I can directly import Folium and create a map object. And here we need to pass location in terms of latitude and longitude coordinates. And I'm going to pass the location of the city that I reside in, which is Sofia, Bulgaria. So here I will pass its coordinates separated with comma. And finally, we can show the map directly here in Jupyter Notebook. So the zoom level is very high because by default there is this zoom underscore start argument, which I believe is set to 10. So if I want to see more from Europe, more of Europe in the map, then I should probably decrease this to, let's say, 6. And now we see more of Eastern and Central Europe. Now obviously this is not a very practical example because we can directly go to Google and maybe to Google Maps and just screenshot some map. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to use this CSV file, which contains the data for the 27 countries of the European Union, their names, their capitals, their coordinates, and their population. So we're going to import this with Pandas, and then we're going to create a map, and we're going to mark all these cities, and we're also going to show the population of each city. So let's do this, and let's start from scratch. And I'm going to import Pandas as PD. And in the end, I would also want to save the map as HTML file, and I will do it in the same folder location where the CSV file is stored. So therefore I'm going to create a variable for the folder path. I'm gonna pass here the row string. So I want the CSV file is in this location, and in the end I will also want to create an HTML file with the map in the same location. That's why I'm creating a variable, and I will call data the source file. So this will be folder underscore path, and this I will add backslash, and I'm going to add the name of the file, which, if I'm not mistaken, it was EU underscore capitals .csv. Hopefully I'm not gonna mistype it. Capitals.csv, and let's print data now. It returns an error. Yeah, I think this should be escaped because it's a special character. Okay, now it looks good. So therefore we can set this to a data frame object and pass here this to the read CSV method of Pandas. And now let's see the shape. It returns a tuple of 27 rows and 5 columns. And if we want to see the first 5 rows, then we can use the head method. So now let's also import Folium, and let's first create a map. And the location for this map, I'm going to just pass here 50,10, as I believe this is somewhere in the middle of Europe. And the initial zoom level, I will set the zoom start argument to 4. And let's show M for now. And we will practically now have to loop through the rows of the file and set markers on each city. So let's see the head again. And here we can write a loop. So for index comma row in df dot iter rows. And now we can write here folium dot marker, and the location will be here. We'll have to pass both the latitude and longitude using this row here that we use in the loop. So this will be a row of, and I'm very worried that I'll mistype these, so let's copy paste, comma, and the same thing here, row. And in the end, we need to add this to the map using the add to method. And now let's show the map. I will comment this head. And now we can see that we have markers on each city. However, the idea is that once we click the marker, it will show probably the name of the city and its population. And to do this, we can simply use the pop-up argument. Let's first just show the name of the city. So this we can set to row of, I think, the header column. Let's see it in my CSV. It's simply capital. It's important not to mistype it. And now if we click the markers, it's showing the city. And to this, I would also want to add the population. So for this, we can use a template string. So I'm going to write here F. And since I'm using the single quotes here, I will use double quotes for the template string and cut this here in curly braces. So it's going to be like a variable. And let's just click enter to ensure that it still works. And I would like to add the population on a new line. So here I will write \n. This will insert a new line, and I will write here population, comma, and here we can use another variable in the template string. So this will be row, and I think the header for the population should be population. Let's copy it. And let's see how it looks now. Yeah, I think it's correct. It's just that maybe we should separate the thousands indicator so it looks better. So let's do this. And this is extremely easy. We can use a colon here, comma. Yeah, so I think this looks way better now. And finally, as mentioned, I would like to, instead of just showing the map here, save this to an HTML file. So here I'm going to write that map file will be equal to folder path, because I want to save it in the same folder, plus backslash plus, and here the name of the file will be map.html. And we can simply write m.save and pass map file here. And then let's print map has been created successfully. And now this is the map that has just been created. So if I make a double click, it opens in browser, and therefore we can share it with colleagues without having to send them the script. This was a very basic example. Obviously, if we had like more data points to use, maybe average salaries or average housing prices, or maybe average amount of rainfall per month, then we could also include this in the map. Folium also allows to set different colors here to the markers. So we could have written some user-defined function and to apply different colors, but maybe we can do this in a more advanced video. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.